these years, we're looking at all the influences from other countries as well. We're going to get a question about that as well. But what do you think will be the next wave as we're looking at a dancehall wave or Afro wave? Or
I mean, the strange thing about when we look at waves in pop music is that you have these musical genres have been around longer than the idea of pop music itself, and they will exist for once they go into the buzz and they get in European radio play or American radio play, and if that comes to an end, let's say, like, those genres are already going to continue, so Caribbean music has always had a strong influence on what we listen to in America, for instance. We had a big Latin wave in North America. We have a big African wave in the UK and across France and Europe and so on. So it could come from anywhere, I mean, people like French Montana have always, pushed their music, from Morocco, Algeria, etc. DJ Snake is doing stuff with, Indian artists, Indian producers, African producers, artists from all across the globe. So we never really too sure where the next wave will come from. It's just up to us as DJs, as music lovers, to keep our ear to the streets and, make sure that we support the next sound,
You have embraced the digitally driven music industry from the start. What to you is the most exciting about this day and age as a DJ and as a producer?
The ability to connect, communicate, and collaborate with people all across the globe. I just met a young man in the room here who's been sending me his music for a long time, and we obviously never met in person, but he's able to send me music, and there've been other, I collaborate with artists from Holland all the time, Lady B, Party Squad, Rocky Wellstack, Zuwao, all these guys, and it's all over email, it's all over Dropbox, so we have all these tools that are available to us now that can help us to collaborate, and kind of grow outside of just our own local environment.
You have a very international career and work with artists, DJs, and producers from all over the world. What's the common ground you look for in an artist that you work with?
Enthusiasm and, just easygoing. You have to be down to work, down to explore new ideas. You have to have patience. I mean, I guess you look for the same qualities that you look for in yourself. You want to be excited about the project. You want to be enthusiastic about it. You want to really make, the best song possible. So that's what you look for. Just positivity.
Have you ever had a culture shock with somebody that you work with?
Not really. I mean, I think that it was like I was saying before. Communicating with somebody on the internet is one thing, but when you meet somebody in person, you can really kind of, figure out, can I vibe with this person or not? And a lot of times, the people that we work with, it's a very organic situation. Somebody might DM you on Instagram, or they might write to you on Twitter, or they might just email you this stuff. And a lot of times too, we might just be fans. We might be fans of their work and reach out and say, hey, like, we should work on something, or you might run into them backstage at a festival or event or concert or something and just say, we should vibe out. So because it's that organic, you're not really trying to like force somebody to work with you who you're not familiar with, or convince somebody to work with you who you don't really have a good relationship with.
Is it better? Is the product better if you're together in the studio, or it doesn't matter if they're on the other end of the world?
I want to say it doesn't matter, but again, to me, I think like the human element is very important, I mean, even if it doesn't necessarily mean that you did the entire session in the studio together, it's always cool to be able to connect with somebody, even if it's you do like a one session, or you have a little meeting or something, and then, you say, well, you go over it in person, so it helps to have that personal touch, and then also, when you're working with somebody, you want them to feel, as invested in it as you are. So it helps to kind of have that personal connection.
Yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah, man.
I got to choose another shoe.
All right.
But maybe you should tell me why as well. Why that sneaker? Because you're a sneaker fan.
Oh, I mean, I think that we have a very interesting lineup here. I was a 90s boy, so the Air Max silhouettes always appealed to me, the 97s, the 95s, the tuned ears. I remember when a lot of these sneakers came out the first time around, and I couldn't afford them, so maybe that's why I have too many now. But
How many?
How many? I don't know. You'd have to ask Christine. But I think we could go with the Adidas Superstars because that's a very classic silhouette. That's a must-have.
It's like a Run DMC back in the day shoe.
Exactly.
Is that how you met those shoes? Like the first time you heard about them or saw them?
Yeah, I think that's the first time everybody heard about them. Because that was really the first, like solid connection between like music and fashion, for us growing up in the late 80s and the 90s. I always said that once I had the resources to help, people who I think are far more talented than I am, but don't necessarily have the reach, or the abilities that I do, that I would do what I could to help them. So that's why we set up the record label. And I mean, my business partner and I, we just music lovers. So we just try to work with things that we really like, that we're interested in. I mean, the thing about it now is that we have so many tools available to us as creatives in order to communicate our work online, in order to communicate with people online. So there's so many channels now, and at sometimes it can be overwhelming, but at the same time, you kind of have to take the effort to listen to everything that people send you, because you never know when you might miss something and come back to it, and you might hear it in the club and be like, man, I know this song, and like, yeah, like this is so and so. It's like, damn, they sent me this record, weeks ago, months ago, whatever it is, So I still try to listen to as much as possible to the stuff that people send me in my email.
This question says, for many upcoming producers, ghost producing can be an important step to increase your network and start making an income. What is your view on ghost producing?
I think that it's important to collaborate with people that are coming up underneath you. I think that, from a communication standpoint, obviously, it's going to be easier for me to say, I'm making a Jillionaire record or a Major Lazer record, as opposed to saying I'm making a this guy record, But that's not to say that at any step of the way, we have ever tried to hide the people that we work with, I think that it really comes down to how you communicate with your audience, with your fan base, and how you make sure that you give credit where credit is due, and it's not really about like keeping a guy in a back room somewhere, he just cranking out all the hits and then you taking all the credit for it, But if you have somebody who's coming up underneath you and then you helping their career, and then eventually they can go out and do a single of their own or EP of their own, well then it kind of makes sense. But when you think of it realistically, it's like we can't physically or creatively, do all of the music ourselves, So we have to work with others, And I like working in collaboration. I like working with other people, because for me, being a DJ for so long and being a music lover for so long, I kind of know what works. I might know what kind of arrangement I want. I know what kind of key transition I want, but I might necessarily be able to commit the physical time to sitting down in the studio and doing that myself. So I prefer to work in a collaborative environment. Holland, I feel, out of most of the countries, was able to kind of keep, their cultural diversity, the Surinamese influences from the, and Aruban and the ABC influences from the Caribbean, and the Surinamese influences from Central South America, and the Indonesian influences from Asia. So it's an interesting melting pot where you will go to any club, and hear, reggae and dancehall and hip hop and Dutch hip hop and straight up EDM and percussive music like Gregor Salto or Quintino or something, and it spans the whole gamut, and that's something that we've always done, because we've always tried to be super diverse as well. So that's why for me, coming here is still one of the most interesting places, because there's so much musical diversity.
As an artist who truly travels the globes and connects with the scenes worldwide, what to you is the most exciting local scene at this moment?
What's the most exciting local scene? To be fair, the most exciting local scene for me will always be in Trinidad, where I come from, because Trinidad culture and Trinidad carnival is so crazy and so difficult to understand. It's only when you get there, like it's hard to explain to somebody that between December and March, all we're gonna do every weekend is go out all weekend.
4 months.
Yeah. For 4 months. All right. Yeah. You see, you already can't keep up.
We have a carnival, but it's one day.
Nah, forget that. That one day thing is for amateurs, right? And then coming down to the end of it, for a whole week, we're gonna go out every day. We're gonna go hit 2-3 parties a day, right? So we're gonna go to a daytime, like a daytime garden party. Then we're gonna go to a big outdoor event, and then we're gonna leave that big outdoor event at like 2, 3, 4 a.m. We're gonna get on a boat ride, and then we're gonna go on a boat ride from like 6, 7 a.m. till 10, 11 o'clock. Go home, eat something, take a nap, and then do it all over again. And we're gonna do that for a week, and then we're gonna parade the streets for 2 days, right? So not this one day running around in hoodies, right? We're gonna put on crazy carnival costumes and do it for 2 days straight. Now, and because we've been doing that for so long, like that really kind of lends itself to our culture, you know. So we're very, very easygoing, you know, like to enjoy ourselves, like to make sure that, you know, visitors enjoy themselves. So for me, like that local scene has always fascinated me. Like I still go home now. I'm like, wow, this is crazy. How do you guys do this? You know, but I love it. I love it.
I think we all want to come with you in December.
You guys are all invited. Yeah.
One change that we saw is that hip hop artists are making a lot more money than before.
Yeah.
And people
that's worldwide. Yeah. I forgot where I was, but it's the same thing anywhere you go. Like over the last 2 years or so, you find that all of these local hip hop scenes have really blown up to the point now where these guys are selling out stadiums on their own, they're selling out clubs on their own, and it's good because now they don't necessarily have to be like, oh well, I'm gonna go open for, you know, American act X, you know, like I can do my own shows, I can do my own concerts, and I can make my own money and make my own impact as well.
What is the most important career advice? Oh, that's a cool one for the people in the room as well. The most important career advice you can give an upcoming producer or DJ or artist in 2018. The number one golden tip.
Don't give up. You know, if you really believe in what you're doing, if you really believe in your production skills, or you believe in your piano playing skills, or you believe in your painting skills, don't give up on yourself. Continue to invest in yourself. Continue to practice. You know, you have to put in a lot of work, you know, to really develop your style. You know, as a musician, you have to find your style. As a producer, you have to find your style. As a painter, you have to find your style. And that doesn't happen overnight. One of the most frustrating things for me is that we live in this world of instant gratification. And people go on the internet, they go on the Instagram, and they see, oh, look, this guy's doing well, and he has fancy clothes, and he's driving a nice car, and, you know, he's playing these big shows, and he's traveling here, there, and everywhere. Because we only put the highlights on the internet. That didn't happen overnight, you understand? I wasn't on Instagram going, oh, well, I just missed my flight, and I have to, you know, share this hotel room, or I have to sleep on this couch, or nobody showed up to my gig. So don't feel for a second that it's all, you know, bright lights, and that's just going to come immediately, because I think that a lot of the youth now have this perception of not having to put in the time, not having to put in the work, and you have to really invest a lot of time in yourself. You have to really do a lot of work on yourself. And once you continue to do that, it will show. It will show in the final product, you know. So don't ever feel like, oh, well, this ain't really working out for me. If you're really confident about it, and you really feel that you have something going on, you know, somebody's going to discover it. You know, somebody's going to find you on SoundCloud or on Spotify or in their email, or just run into you in the street or on your lobby or something, and it's gonna happen. So don't give up.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out the ADE Beats podcast at Spotify and iTunes for the whole conversation. Or check out beats.nl to find all the information about the upcoming ADE Beats event. You can find both links in the description of the video.